Hello everybody, my name is Nitesh Pankania. I'm the Assistant Director of Lambeth Building Control, and welcome to Show and Tell number 5. Today we're in the great offices of Unboxed in the East End of London, and here's what's coming up in this session. We've got an update from the Lambeth team, submissions and Plan X, workshop 4 results about the analysis and post-it exercise we carried out, which was kept on by Tom, a prototype of updates and reminders from our colleagues in the room. I'm going to hand over to Catherine Neal.
Thanks, Nitesh. Yeah, just a few updates from us. We've done our 5th, or I think it's 5th or 6th Medium blog, so please check that out. You'll find out, you'll be able to follow how we've been. Right, I'm going to start again because I'm just fluffing away with this. I've really just written this. You don't need to stop, I'll just...
Well, I haven't.
Thanks very much, Nitesh. Yes, just a few updates from us. We've got our Medium blog. Our latest Medium blog is now available to read. You'll find lots of information on what we've been up to and the breakdowns on the workshops. So please do have a read of that if you want to know more about what we've been doing. Nitesh Pankania from the Lambeth team has been walking Unboxed, our R&D developers, through the full plans process, talking about how information is submitted and how it's indexed and so on and so forth, as part of feeding into that work that we're doing. And we've also been arranging various meetings with RBCA representatives, so we're hoping to get some of those in the diary soon, so we can start to hear their thoughts and ideas on data standards and other such things. So now I'm going to pass over to Jordan, who's going to talk a little bit about what the work he's been doing.
Lovely, thank you, Catherine. I've just been looking at some of the submission service requirements that we're going to need for the Building Control Digital project. Part of that is with the great progress we've been making on our back office and customer portal, we're going to need a way to receive full plan submissions. Part of that is looking at existing systems and possibly developing systems of receiving submissions. Luckily, there is already a solution to this through the Plan X system that has been developed on the ODP side of Open Digital Planning. Next slide, please.
I'll be cutting that out.
Yeah. Plan X is a great system because it allows us to design and test bespoke submission services, even for building control digital services, although not designed specifically for building control, and there is going to be some issues creating completely bespoke services. It provides a really good opportunity to design and test and receive submissions through a very good existing system. Let's see, and we've just got some examples of what the Plan X dashboard looks like. Here you can see that you can set up and design services as an officer through creating individual services that then take you into a logic flow system. Next slide, please. And here's where you design and build your services. In this case, you can ask questions, set up notices, even use GIS data to set up red line boundaries as well. And next week, I'm going to be hosting a Plan X showcase on behalf of the Building Control Digital project, where I'll be showing how you can design and build these services, and following on that, how you can use data and metrics to see insights. Thank you. I think I'm passing on to Unboxed.
Well, thank you very much. Hi, everyone. My name is Tom Gaylor. I am a designer at Unboxed and working on this project, and I'm giving an update on behalf of the wider Unboxed team on the research and development work we've been undertaking. So, as Nitesh mentioned, we in the last workshop 4, we had a look at some of the data that might be required to sit underneath building control systems and how that could be standardized. So that's one of the streams of work, is looking at data standards. And so we held a discussion looking at various fields, various different pieces of information. So those might be things like the applicant's name, address, but could be site address, could be town, could be also more slightly detailed things like UPRM. So these pieces of data that underpin who people are, what their responsibilities are, where things are taking place, etc. And we did an activity where we reviewed the work that's been done to date on the data standards, looking at what we consider to be mandatory and what could be optional. So we've documented that, and we will continue to get feedback on that, so you can see those data standards through GitHub. But also we will have sort of activities like this that make it slightly less technical as well. So it's not, this data is really important to what building control teams can do, and it's not something that sort of we want to forget about at all. Alongside the data standards work, as Jordan mentioned, we've also been doing some prototyping and testing. So we've been building sort of various prototypes of back office and customer portal services and getting feedback on those. We've previously shared our customer portal, and we've been getting feedback from building control staff and customers on that, how it works, what it might enable them in terms of providing different kinds of services or reducing some of the friction they experience in their day-to-day. Based on the feedback, we developed sort of new designs for the site visits. So how you could see reports, how those could be shared, how any requirements could be generated, and how that would allow customers to have an ability to download that report directly. We'd heard about the sort of pain point, sort of chasing those reports when it was coming to getting all the documentation together at the end of the project. We added inspector details to the homepage just to help customers orientate who they might want to reach out to, who's the responsible inspector for their application. And we looked at how we might integrate requirements, helping give this sort of clear audit trail of what had been asked, what's been raised as issues by inspectors, and whether those have been looked at yet, whether they've been responded to, etc. So I will share with you briefly a quick run through of that. So we're going to have a look at the customer portal. So as we previously showed, customers would access this through a link that they would receive by email. Their portal would contain key information about the application, and as you can see, we've added now the responsible inspector to this. And we've got the various pieces of information. We've added the ability to see requirements that have been made, and you can see these have been tracked in terms of ones that have been responded to, not responded, and discharged, as well as new requirements. We are aware that requirements can be added through several steps. They might be added partway through the design check, at the end of the design check, or at any site visits, or throughout the process. So it's important that there's this ongoing thread of what has been asked to be done. Has that yet been picked up? Has it been responded to? And has that yet been discharged? So we can have a quick look at what this could look like for a requirement here. We've got some evidence. We've got, in this case, evidence of correct ventilation duct jointing, the relevant approved document. This requires further information, and there's the ability to upload documents and describe this. Once the customer is happy that they've done that, they can then respond, and then if it's checked and if it's satisfactory, it can be marked as discharged. And this hopefully gives everyone a very clear audit trail of where an application is and what's remaining to be done as well. We also we've shown you site visits before, so we won't go on to that today, but we will return to the slides and talk a bit about some work we've been doing on the application page. So to date, we've done some design check work and some customer portal work, but we haven't yet thought about the place that all of these various tasks are held together, kind of where you start with an application. And from our experience designing systems like this previously, we know it's really important that we're able to support a clear workflow so that junior members of the team or anyone new to the system will be able to pick it up very quickly, understand how to use it, but also understand if they're picking up an application, what's been done and what needs to be done next. But unlike some other services, building control can be quite non-linear. There can be different sort of contact points that can happen at different stages. Whilst there are some sort of phases, such as the design check and the site inspections, those aren't always, this one is not always completed totally first and before you move on to the next one. So we need to enable that kind of flexible workflow. So we've been thinking about how we enable that. We're going to have some more discussions in the workshop today. And we're thinking about ways that we structure the information based on what's really used the most and also what's the most important. So we've got a screenshot here, but I will also share this on a slightly large screen. So you can see that there are some key stages or key sort of activities that might be undertaken for an application: validation, design check, inspections, and notices. And then you can see some key information about the application. This one hasn't yet had a quote. Once you've added a quote, you can then record the payment, but that'd be clearly marked at the top of the application. We've got the location, the descriptions of work, the duty holders, and then below that, we've got the requirements kept there and case events as well. So there's these two sort of things. This case events is the audit logs of who's done what and what's happened, as well as the requirements as these kind of things that need to be ticked off ultimately for completion certificate can be awarded. So this is a very early proposal. We think there is quite a lot that we can do to change and sort of improve this, but it sort of suggests the way we're thinking about making a move in with this prototype. I'll return to the presentation and we can talk about what's next.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, well, just calling out our blog again there. We've got a workshop in March, which we're hoping is going to be at our partners in Ealing. Follow us on LinkedIn if you haven't been so far. We've got a BC Digital Project LinkedIn page, and also our R&D developers. We haven't actually put the link in there, but there is Unbox do every fortnight a show and tell internally for us. So please do have a look at those. We will add the link to that at some point. But there's lots of new developments and information that you can see on there. One of the things that we're really keen to hear from, what Tom's just shared today, does that work for you? Because obviously we're working with our partners and getting feedback from them, and they're always willing to be critical as well as, in a constructive way, as well as tell us where we're getting it right. But if you've not been involved in and given any feedback, does that work for you? Or are there things that you think, actually, I would really need this in my business in the way in which we do our processes? Because we know everybody approaches things differently. So we do want to make sure we're hearing from enough voices, a really wide range of voices about what looks good to them, but also what could potentially have a tweak. So please get in contact with us. It's digitalbuildingcontrol@lambeth.gov.uk if you don't have any other way, or you can reach us via LinkedIn, or of course you can reach out to Unboxed, our R&D partners. So that's it for today, and we will see you at our next workshop 6 in March.